Buenas.
Buenas tardes, ¿se le cobran 5 quetzales? ¿Ya se dio su pasaporte de salida de Guatemala?
Ya.
Ok.
Welcome to episode 25 of Another Little Trip. In the last episode, I spent a few days in hospital here in León, Nicaragua. After being discharged, I spent a very relaxing day in my cheap hotel and only ventured out when I heard some music playing nearby. On the long hot road to Honduras now, having left León this morning. This is the quickest way. I think Google Maps did pretty well today. Super quiet road. Yep, not paved, gravelly. No, not gravelly. It's just a light dusting of gravel on the dirt. Yeah, it's fine. It is hot. There's another hour to go until the Honduras border, so should be there by lunchtime. And then we'll see how that border goes. I'm expecting it to be a long one. So why a race through Central America? Well, I left Panama City after much visa delays with only 2.5 weeks to get to Mexico City. I wouldn't normally want to rush through it. There are plenty of beautiful places to see along the way, but I've got to meet some very special people in Mexico City. It's a journey of 3,500 kilometers, and with some potential delays at the borders, it's going to be tight. Yet another of those borders with just no signs anywhere, no indication of where you're supposed to go. But I think because it's a holiday today, or this weekend, because of Semana Santa, there's hardly anyone around, which hopefully might mean it's quick. Well, I think I've been lucky there. It's really, really quiet, and I had read reports that people had spent 2 hours here, and it was all done in 8 minutes, perhaps. No queue at immigration, no queue at customs. Done. I'm out of Nicaragua, and now just got to go to Honduras. Well, absolutely the easiest border I've done so far. Both sides done in an hour and 25 minutes. An hour and 25 minutes. About an hour and a half, say. I've got the most colourful temporary import document for Honduras, and I was supposed to have copies of my passport, driver's license, and bike document. I didn't have the copies, and the woman there, the lovely Griselda, said, "Oh, just go and use the copy place there," and she stopped herself. It's a national holiday, so it's closed. So she went to do the copies for me, just in the back office, and gave me a spare set as well for the future. Just so lovely. I was one of 2 people in the customs queue. So yeah, it's really easy. Just took ages for her to enter all my details onto the computer and then handwrite it onto this little thing. But to have both done in an hour and a half is just amazing. It is really hot. Did I mention it's 40 degrees? Yeah. So fortunately it's only like 50 minutes to the town I'm staying in tonight. And what's most exciting, I guess, is this is another new country, my 10th country of the trip from starting in Brazil. But my second new country. Ecuador was the first, and Honduras. I've technically been here. When I was traveling through Central America 11 years ago, I got the buses through Central America, but because Honduras wasn't particularly safe then, I just got the bus straight through from El Salvador through Honduras to Nicaragua. Didn't even get off the bus other than passport control. So I've technically been here, but getting the bus passing through doesn't count really, does it? So yeah, nice to be in a new country. But I'm looking forward to getting to where I'm staying and chilling out with a cold drink, I think. In other news, very sad to report that my beautiful Revit gloves are on their way out. They have done a lot of kilometers. I bought these I can't remember, 4 years ago, and they must have done 50,000 kilometers, which is ridiculous. In Colombia a few weeks ago, I got repairs on 2 of the fingers because there were holes in them. But I got them done in a cobbler, and the leather is so tough. Nothing like the beautiful soft leather that the gloves are actually made from. But today I noticed a new hole on the finger, quite a big one, and there's another hole somewhere. I can't remember, it was on the, oh yeah, hole here, and it's not from the stitching, it really is just worn through the leather. That's a lot of use I've had with these. So I can't keep repairing them. It's no good. I don't know whether there's another shop I can get gloves so great. These are amazing. They're just so comfortable. Perfect for what I'm doing. Nice, relatively cool considering it's 40 degrees. So you have to look for a decent shop that sells a new Revit pair, please. And so it was on into Honduras, and to be honest, it didn't look so different from northern Nicaragua. Fairly green, a little dry though. It wasn't too long though until I reached the town of Choluteca, the only stop I would be making in Honduras. And it clearly had a lot more US influence than Nicaragua did. There were suddenly all these strip malls with US burger restaurants. Gracias. ¿Puedo parquear ahora? That night though, I did find a really fun restaurant to eat at, where I ended up doing a bit of a photo shoot with the waitresses there. The next day though, it was on northwest to the El Salvador border. At the border, I parked my bike next to a very friendly policeman and joined a long queue. The actual immigration and customs formalities ended up being very simple though. It was time for lunch. Oh, bueno.
Hígado.
Oh,
Hígado de res.
Un poco. Sí. Necesito decir, ¿puedo todo?
Un pedacito de cada cosa.
Sí, por favor.
Mire,
Wow.
es la mamá. Hígado.
Bueno. Oh, por favor, sí.
Un poquito.
Es
Solo
importante.
echaron estamos en todas las ollas.
Mi madre habla, necesito comer vegetales todos los días. And then it was across the border bridge into El Salvador. There was a short queue here for immigration. And then I had to drive through the town to customs. Hola, señor. Gracias, señor. I am now officially in El Salvador and got mega lucky again. Crazy. The Honduras side was done in 20 minutes. The only thing that slowed me down was I had to get a photocopy of the immigration stamp for leaving Honduras on the Honduras side. That took 3 minutes. Customs in Honduras just looked at the placa, the registration plate of my bike, and that was it. Didn't do anything, just took my temporary import form. And then in El Salvador side, immigration was little doors by the road where your motorbike was. Did I even get? I got off the bike. It was done in 2 minutes. Customs, as you can see, I'm literally the only person here, so no queues, super quick. He just glanced at my bike. Super easy, done in an hour and 20 minutes, both sides. Oh, and I had lunch as well. Of course, I had lunch. To do both sides in that time is crazy. People have, I've read reports of people taking hours here. So it's just under 4 hours to San Salvador. I can do that today. It is, I don't know what time it is today yet now. 20 to 1. So I'll be a bit late, but it'll be great to get there. It's hot though again, 38, 39. Oof. Need to get moving. It was an easy drive on to San Salvador, where I found a lovely hostel to stay, ready for plenty more driving the next day. I am so excited. I'm in San Salvador, and I'm just passing through my race through Central America. Continues. I'm on track to get to Mexico City on time on Sunday. Today is Monday. But first I need to replace my gloves and Revit El Salvador, incredible. This is like just heaven. I'm wearing my Revit jacket, I've got my Revit gloves to replace. I'm wearing Revit trousers, Revit boots. I love Revit. Entonces, San 5.
San 5, los nuevos del mercado, y los Caliber, que son muy buenos también para viajes largos.
Unfortunately, they did not have my size, but it was still great to visit, and they also did a little bit of chain maintenance for me. And then straight through El Salvador, unfortunately, it was on to the border with another great drive-through immigration to leave the country. Customs was done under a small gazebo, and again was painless once we worked out a translation issue, and then it was across yet another border bridge into Guatemala. It's been a bit of a blur of border crossings, but fortunately entering Guatemala was yet another painless process, all done in about half an hour. Yeah, it's been a mad few days. Yesterday I was in Honduras, crossed into El Salvador, now I'm in Guatemala. Was it the day before I was in Nicaragua? Anyway, back to motorcycle matters. I had come to the sister shop of the one I had visited in El Salvador the day before, and they had just got a fresh delivery of gloves. Did they have my size? Well, after all that, they don't actually have my size, and the size down 2XL, it's a bit tight, and when I'm choosing gloves that I'm literally going to be wearing all day every day, apart from when it rains a little bit, they need to be perfect. They do need to be perfect, so I'm going to think of another plan. Now I'm going to go and stay with the lovely family I met last night in the hostel in El Salvador. They offered to host me tonight. Yeah, drive across the city for a well-earned rest, I think.
This is a new travel.
After we had been chatting for some time in the hostel in El Salvador, they invited me to stay with them in Guatemala City.
Este es el lago de Amatitlán.
After a lovely dinner, unfortunately Paola was at work, so it's just the four of them that took me out.
Adios.
And then it was on to Antigua, which I'd been looking forward to visiting again ever since I went there 11 years ago. It is such a beautiful place. Unfortunately, it was again such a short visit, and the next day it was on to the border with Mexico.
Buenas.
Buenas tardes, ¿se le cobran 5 quetzales? ¿Ya se dio su pasaporte de salida de Guatemala?
Yeah.
Okay.
Migration on the Guatemala side was easy once I worked out what she was saying.
Ah, no, se le da comprobante, papá. Ya dice que ya. Ya le pregunté.
And then it was over yet another border bridge and into Mexico. But before I could start immigration, of course, I had to get my bike sprayed.
Slight issue with paperwork, but I've sorted it out. My Brazilian motorcycle document is the original from when I bought the bike 2019. They've since replaced paper ones with digital ones, so you can print it out from the app if you want, but it doesn't make the 2019 one I have invalid, and it's at least not in the eyes of every country I've been to. Until I arrive here, and Mexico doesn't like it, so I've had to update the app, print out the document from the app, and we'll go eventually. Well, I'm going to try again now. Yay, done. 6 o'clock now. How long has this border taken? A couple of hours, I guess, but there was all that extra paperwork, stuff to photocopy, and but now I'm officially in Mexico. I think I've got to do a last customs thing with the bike. I think they've got to check it and stuff, but I am 5 minutes drive from the place I'm staying tonight, a lovely hotel, the cheapest hotel. And I need a rest because tomorrow it's 5.5 hours drive I'm doing, which, yeah, it's not going to be very interesting. Yay, Mexico.